All right, so here we have Late Night from West Hartford, electronic artist and producer. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good, doing good.
So I'm very glad that you were able to make it and came to visit Himmy Entertainment.
Blessed to be here, yo. Love y'all, honestly.
Awesome. When did you started making music? How old were you?
I think this was like around 2019, so I don't know, it's probably a couple years back, maybe like 26, 27, I want to say.
What inspired you to make music?
I was probably DJing, in a couple of frats over in like UConn and University of New Haven. I was playing mad like what's it called, house music and stuff, and like trapping like dubstep, and I was just curious on how to make some of this stuff, and one of my boys he ended up teaching me how to produce while I taught him how to DJ, and I think I kind of procrastinated with it until like 2019, and I ended up started making music.
How old were you when you started DJing?
Man, this was like 2012. Honestly, 2012. This is a long time ago. So I don't know. This was probably like 20, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I think I was at the club, and then when one of my boys wanted to go to one of my homies get-togethers, right? Because they were pies. They wanted to smoke at the time. This dude over there actually had a DJ controller. I was like, oh, I like this. He let me play with it, and I was like, and I was with my other boy. Like the next day, we just had a phone call. I was like, yo, let's be DJs or something like that. So we ended up just like grabbing the equipment, and I guess I kind of just stuck with it, like most of the time.
Do you always have passion for music?
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird with that one because even though I actually started like drumming from like third grade to like my freshman year of high school, it's only been like more so like 2019 where it's like I kind of was like, all right, I thought of it as a hobby, but then I was like, yo, how can I just take more and more steps into it? So I mean, right now it's like not even a hobby to me anymore. I was like, yo, this is now like kind of like I I make sure I have like that thought of the business aspect to it, since I have like my own like LLC.
So you look at it more as a career now than you used to do back then?
I mean, as much as I don't want to, because I don't want to make it be like a job. Like I still want to have like the fun aspect of it.
But it can be a fun job.
Of course, I mean it could be a fun job, but then it's like, hey, I'm still out here like actually doing like I actually like what I'm doing right now.
Yes, and I think like Josh should be something that we like doing.
That is true. That is true. I just have a weird thought process of it, like being like, hey, look, I can't just like think of it as like a job,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather make sure I can like enjoy it and have fun with it.
Do you had more fun being a DJ or making your own music?
It's kind of weird because even though I do make sure, like I try to make it as equal as possible, it's just when it comes down to like DJing and production, I've had times where people have tried to just like take over my production, even not knowing what they're doing, and also like telling me how to DJ, and I hate that. It's a pet peeve for me. So so I try to make sure I can kind of block that out a little bit. I mean, I of course I'm always going to give people leeway like within production and DJing. Like I'll play what you want because I had to figure out the environment and everything like that. I'm always gonna have to prepare first, and then within production, it's like I don't really just make a beat. I like producing in front of people, like especially like the artists I'm trying to produce for, or I want to feature on, have the feature on, so that way like it can be something as personal for them.
But you call yourself an electronic artist, meaning that you create music for yourself as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
With passion, right?
Yeah, you got to think of me. I'd rather be in more the aspect of somebody like Skrillex or Diplo or Calvin Harris or even like David Guetta or like Flux Pavilion. Like I know you probably might not know that stuff, but like you might want to look at these people. They're sick. They are very sick. Even then, a lot of those guys have actually produced for some of those artists too, like Rihanna and Beyonce and Kanye West and Jay-Z and stuff like that. they have those production credits too. So it's like I like like being in that aspect of where it's like, yeah, I can release a lot of my own stuff, and then I can kind of like release like I can actually produce for other people too. So it's like I make whatever I want to make.
Do you prefer working for yourself or working for others?
I like it equally. It's just I make sure that even though I want to work with everybody, I want to make sure I can work with the right people.
Okay. And why EDM and not like hip hop or R&B or anything else?
I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate at all. It's just with me, EDM, I see so much innovation.
Okay.
So that's just me. I just see a lot of innovation to the point where I know for a fact I can carry a song to where it could be like classic or timeless, like within EDM.
Have you tried to like network, like take advantage of like social media and utilize it as a tool to network?
Oh yeah, of course. Whenever I go to a show, I sit there and I'm like, oh yo, let me get your Instagram. You know, I always like try to see if I could talk to somebody, be like, hey, what's going on? You know, let's link up, like you know, or something like that. And most of the times it's probably like shows or showcases, and I'm sitting there like, oh, these guys are actually pretty cool. Let me go ahead and like have a quick word.
Cool.
And for like there's been people that I've actually gotten to know from like places like those showcases that I've known now for like probably a couple of years now.
Oh wow.
And that's really just me putting myself out there too. Trust me, it's not easy, but I will do it.
So I attended that event at Unknown and noticed you did not participate. Talk to me. What happened?
Oh, I definitely found out about that late. Like I once I heard that like, oh, Swing Mod's coming up to Hartford, I was like, oh, I gotta see these guys, because I actually went over to New Haven for Beat for Beat when they were involved in Beat for Beat, and I've actually like faced like a couple of them a couple of times, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, they're not easy. Plus, I'm not that much of a battler, but I will say this: try not to misinterpret this, but I do want the smoke. I'm always going, like, even though like I'm not that much of a battler, of course I'm gonna want the smoke. So like a lot of people in there I actually kind of knew in there. So like yeah, some of the Swink Mob guys, they're actually pretty cool. They nice. I seen a little bit of Threes Mafia in there, and I actually did face Finesso one time, like over in New Haven. Like mad cool guy, mad love. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that they would have judged it like the way they could, but it's just my strategy, like just definitely like threw them off. So going in there and seeing them again was actually pretty cool, you know, seeing these guys, and then also like get like I got to meet like new people over there too, so that was actually pretty cool.
Do you go to like showcases to like meet new artists and be able to network with artists?
I've done it before, yes, and I'll try to go out whenever I can. Plus, I mean, I also have been a part of a showcase where it's like I was DJing for Wild on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely like love those guys code, and I think they set a standard of being very very organized and actually putting everything out there. Glad they did that, and I was able to actually get to see like a lot of artists like, you know, perform over there. Be like, hey, you could take my social and everything like that.
Have you ever thought about making your own event?
I have before, so I've kind of had my own record label like event for it, because we ended up doing a whole bunch of EP releases, and like mine was last, and that ended up following up with a whole show. And I would love to do it again, and I am trying to see about like, you know, doing an album release for myself. I gotta make sure I can kind of get that going.
So when are we expecting this?
I want to make sure I can get this done. Hopefully end of May. Hopefully end of May.
Oh, this is so cool. So other than this album releasing in May, is there any other project that you're currently working on right now?
So other than my album, I am going to plan on like doing a whole bunch of single releases for the summer. This is gonna be a funny one. Like, everybody should know this. Of course, I'm gonna be doing Authentic Blend 3 with A Marquise. Like, that's probably gonna be next year. So I will be working on that. I'm probably gonna contact a couple of people, because I'm not gonna hold you. I might like. I know like a couple of people want a couple of beats, but I do want to try to see if I can exactly do some production for like some projects.
Which of your releases, whether a single album or a song in one of your albums, or had gotten the most streams?
Because I did it with A Marquis, so both authentic blends really became massive.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say my third album was very consistent, which was Rock and Feel, and that one really kind of like was able to carry me a lot with that streaming wise on Spotify and Apple. I can say right now that's kind of like it for now, because hopefully like how I'm working this, like, you know, Nightfall 2 should, I'm making sure that this is gonna be a good top tier.
Are you participating in any like upcoming events?
Not at the moment.
Are you open?
Of course. Depending on what it is, of course I am.
Okay. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
You know, I don't know. I do not know. I'm probably gonna sit. I'm probably gonna see if I can make it big like get my own festival. Hopefully.
That'll be great.
Hopefully.
So let's take advantage, and before we end the interview, can you just look at the camera and tell them your socials so like that they can follow you?
All right. So one social, I'm gonna make sure y'all follow me. Late_night_3RD. Late night is in the building. You know, you can follow me on Spotify and Apple, like all the streaming platforms. And yeah, go follow me.
And definitely be out on the lookout for Nightfall 2.
Yep. End of May. Talk to My Demons is gonna be out on the 19th of this Friday. Coming up. So go ahead and like it will be on all platforms then.
Do you have any other singles coming out in May? Do you think that your work is different from theirs?
Of course it's different, because I don't tend to want, like, I see a lot of similarities, and it's a no offense to anybody, but I see a lot of similarities with everybody, you know, and it's not just because of like genre, but it's like, you know, you'll see that a lot of them want to take a lot of those trends. I don't really care to go for like, you know, like the trends right then and there, you know. I'd rather make sure I can make a trend or like make something different from everybody else, so that way you know who's going to shine, you know, or who can shine on that song.
So during all this time, who has been your main supporter?
Man, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you there. I deal with like a lot of people, but I can say that like I am on, like, you know, my own team. That does consist of, like, you know, A Marquis, Loki the Poet, Trey Brown. I could say Michael Martin Jr. There's a couple of others like within this whole team. Also VO Ice. And those guys have really taught me how to really be that type of like producer and artist and that type of businessman, to where like I know I want to be, and I'm able to push myself. I can also say I have a lot of like the different like friends and collaborators that I deal with too.
What local artists have you worked with, or you worked with the most?
And I do work with A Marquis the most. So like we have like 2 albums with each other, and I probably have given them a lot of different songs too. Even like there's been a lot of hits that I've actually given them like throughout the years too. Let's see. I've also worked with a lot of my own team, which is Tracksup Productions, under my own LLC. So I've worked with them. So like I could say I'll Be Okay, Ray Allison, right now, King KC. So I've done some of their work, most of their work. Let's see now. Right now I have a lot of stuff in the works with other artists also. So stay tuned for that.
Is it confidential information?
No, confidential. Not too much confidential right now.
So I know that you said, that a lot of, you utilize nightfall to get, deal with your depression. Like, do you find yourself using your music to kind of like cope with life in general?
I mean, I've admitted it before. I started out producing because I was curious, and then it kind of turned into like, all right, let me distract myself from like kind of depression, and I was able to get out of that like actually through the music. Um, and I usually just like a lot of times I do produce how I feel, but I also like love the innovation of it, so it kind of does make me happy.
Do you feel comfortable sharing with us a little bit more about how that time was and what was going on?
There was a lot of factors. I could say, at the time, job wasn't shit. A lot of people probably didn't take me seriously. Um, there was I didn't like I hadn't had like that much energy like to really like go up and like function. So there was a lot of like factors that went into play for that.
Were you struggling a lot to like get out of bed and like get things done during that time or no?
Yeah.
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 So when was the day that you was like, I don't want to feel like this no more, and you put all of those feelings into your music?
When for a week I sat there and was like, should I kill myself or something like that? Like that those thoughts were in my head. After that week, I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this no more. I gotta let me get up, start making a whole bunch of stuff and start taking my life back.
Thank you for sharing that, because I know sometimes it's not easy to speak about our biggest struggles.
I mean, I usually don't like doing like saying stuff like that because I sit there and I'm like, yo, what like how I can get judged by that when it's like I haven't really went to therapy about it. I've only made my own therapy by like really just like making music.
But there's music therapy.
There is that, but I don't know. It's basically my own words. Like it's kind of unofficial. Very very soon, I got to talk to a couple of people, but there is one other single that I definitely am thinking about.
Okay, so that is not only yours.
Right now, it's only Talk to My Demons. There's another one, and then we're releasing the album, which is called Nightfall 2.
I'm excited. I cannot wait to hear it. I really appreciate you coming here late night. Awesome. You had this interview did not went the way I planned, to be honest, because you had definitely a story that was different than everybody else, and we really appreciate that you shared.
I mean, thank you. I appreciate being here and actually like doing this interview. It's actually I actually liked it a lot.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the final product, to be honest.
It's gonna be fire.
I know.